Hey everyone, welcome to the course. Before we start looking at software, I want to start out by giving you an idea of what we'll be covering and why you're here. Now, I'm assuming that you're coming into this course with some existing motion design skills, so you hopefully know your way around After Effects, at least enough to make simple projects. Maybe you know some 3D software, and a lot of these ideas will be useful for that too. But you already understand the concept of working with multimedia assets of some kind, arranging them on a timeline, and manipulating those to create some kind of video thing. While there are certainly other capable editing apps available, this course will be focusing on Adobe Premiere Pro and the ways that it can work together with Adobe After Effects. Now, will you be able to take a lot of these techniques and ideas and apply them to another piece of software? Mostly. But what you won't get is the integration that exists from having these two apps developed by the same company. Use what you want, but the workflows I'll be showing you are pretty hard to beat. And really, if you're already paying for Creative Cloud, you've already got Premiere, so you might as well take advantage of it. Okay, After Effects can already work with video files, right? So why should you bother learning yet another piece of software? Well, as motion designers, we know the benefit of using different tools for different parts of the process. When you need to do some cutout work on an image, you hop over to Photoshop because you can sometimes literally do it in one click. But if it does take a little more work, Photoshop is where those specialized tools live. Then you save it, hop back to After Effects, and move on with your life. So if you're working in After Effects and you need to trim down a couple of video clips to add into your project, maybe you should actually use the app that's built for doing real-time playback of video files, right? Use the right tool for the job. The functionality of After Effects and Premiere do overlap in several places, but they each have their own strengths and weaknesses because of the way they're actually built and what they're intended to be used for. How about we cover a few do's and don'ts? So we don't want to do complex graphics and compositing in Premiere, even though it can do some of that. We don't want to do a complex video edit in After Effects, and yes, this definitely includes your demo reel. We don't want to do more than the most basic audio work in After Effects because it's not built for that, and the tools in there are pretty basic. And most importantly, we don't want you to get mad at the tools because you're doing things the hard way. But you already know that, right? And that's why you're here. Okay, we should try to stay positive, so it's time for the do's. If you're an editor, you do want to learn how to use After Effects to remove unwanted objects from your shots, add visual effects, and make more interesting titles for your edit projects. If you're a motion designer, you do want to use Premiere to organize and manage a project with a lot of assets. Use Premiere to assemble better animatics. Use Premiere for audio editing and mixing because it's way easier there. Use Premiere to more easily trim, assemble, and work with any kind of video footage, even if it's just one clip. Use Premiere for layering or looping your motion design elements, or for handling larger or complex projects that might just be confusing or slow to do directly in After Effects. You do want to use Premiere to help you better handle exports and revisions. You do want to take advantage of dynamic link and other techniques to easily push media back and forth at pretty much any stage of your project. You do want to learn to use and create motion graphics templates, aka MOGRTs, as a workflow boost for others and for yourself. You do want to leverage both apps' strengths so that you can work faster and smarter every day, because that's what it's about, right? All right, this course is definitely going to lean technical and emphasize this workflow stuff I'm talking about, but there are a ton of good creative benefits here too. Along with design and animation, filmmaking is one of the pillars that motion design evolved from, and editing is one of the most important aspects of filmmaking. As someone who's probably grown up seeing TV and movies your whole life, you already understand the language of film editing, but watching and making are two different things. So if you don't understand any of the theory behind why editing choices are made, there might be a lot of creative possibilities that you're missing out on. And getting an understanding of why certain editing techniques are effective means that you'll be able to make intentional choices about when to use those effectively in your own work. And one big benefit of using a dedicated editing app like Premiere is that it's much easier and faster to try out different options. Good editing often comes from experimentation, trying out different combinations of the elements you have to work with until you arrive at the one that feels the best. So let's do that in the right place. If you're cutting clips directly in After Effects, the friction created by having to RAM preview every single time you change anything really means that you're probably not going to explore very much because it's painful, and you might miss out on what actually could have been the best version of that thing. I'm not here to teach you how to be a Hollywood-level editor, but I will be getting you comfortable using Premiere Pro to elevate your existing motion design workflow and adding several new technical and creative skills to your arsenal. You'll be learning how to work with video footage without doing things the hard way or painting yourself into a corner. You'll be learning how to work with audio in an app that actually, get this, is designed to work with it. And I want to give you a better understanding of an editor's workflow so that when you inevitably get asked if you can take on a project that involves doing some of these things, you'll be able to say, yeah. Okay, it's time for me to introduce you to your new friend, Adobe Premiere Pro.